So we will continue to work with these guys. Hello, and welcome to a new video of Big Brother 161. On a previous video we saw how to employ and slave some Allays in order to build a non-stackable item sorter. As you remember, we just place them here, so they can take the items that correspond to each part and place them on the hoppers. But now there's another ability I want to use from them in order to apply it to another task. What we want is to use their ability to pick up items that are on the floor. As you can see here, there is this hall where I mark out some distances. And according to the Minecraft wiki, the distance at which Allays can detect items they have been programmed to pick up is 32 blocks. So let's place ourselves in this position. Just free one Allay. You can see when there is this item on the floor. He picks it up and delivers it to me. So in this case we have a dispenser 32 blocks away. So in this case the dispenser is placed more than 32 blocks away. So the Allay is going to need an incentive. If I place the first item here, yes, the another item is less than 32 blocks away. So the Allay goes for it also. And he brings it back. Let's do this again and throw this item into a closer distance, and you're going to see it goes for it first. Now let's throw another one here, and again it only goes for it. But if we throw this item 2 blocks away, you can see that this item is going to be less than 32 blocks from the other one over there, as you can see here. Now, instead of the player being the recipient of these items, we can assign a node block to be the recipient for the Allay. So let's free this guy again, and we can use a redstone clock, as you can see here. Now we can build this smaller clock using 2 observers, but as a counterpart, this clock won't stop to make noise every single second. Or we can use this bigger one, which is more expensive but doesn't make so much noise. Or we can turn off these block noises. When I throw these items near them, they go for them, and they deliver into the system. There is a minecart inside this node block. You can see this distance of 16 blocks, so let's go further away, there should be no problem. They go for the items and back. Now let's go to a border, as you can see here, this quarter of a circle 32 blocks away, and they can still go for these items. But if we go away past 32 blocks, you can see this is a big distance, but they don't see them. If in the mid-distance we throw some items extra, they will go for this first, and now they will be able to see the further ones, because they are less than 32 blocks away. And of course, if we throw some items to a bigger distance, as you can see here, they won't be able to see them again. But we can leave a trail, like a breadcrumb trail. They can go all this way till the third items. Now we can use them on a farm. You may remember this farm from a previous video, the sugarcane farm, where the sugarcane is being cut by a flying machine, and the collection system is this one, a rail system which is under all this plantation, and some hopper minecarts collecting all the items. So we just activated the farm. And when it came back, after cutting all the sugarcane, they activate the hopper minecarts and they go off. And as you can see here, under this system, the hopper minecarts are collecting all the items. They come to the chest and start to deliver all the cargo. So what is new? Instead of using the hopper minecart system, we're going to replace it with the Allays, which actually take out less space. So now what I simply did is build this simple redstone clock. You can build whichever clock you want. The only requisite is that this clock has to activate the node blocks each 30 seconds or less. But I use this one, which is only a loop of 8 observers. So here, remember, each node block has to be more than 16 blocks away in order for these 3 Allays to be assigned to this node block, and the other 3 you see here are assigned to this node block. So now that each allay is assigned to a specific node block, we're going to release them. And we start off the farm. We can see that as soon as the allays start to detect the items spread out over the floor, they start to pick them up and deliver them to the system. So as soon as each of them pick up a stack of sugarcane, they go back and start picking up the items again. Inside this node block you can see a hopper minecart picking up the items, under it a hopper, and they start to deliver them to the main system, storing them up. Sometimes the sugarcane doesn't land over the node block but on the floor, but they just pick up the cargo and deliver them again. So after they deliver all the items, you can see under these blocks, the items start to travel this ice track, and the items come to this main storage system over here. 5 double chests as the previous farm. Now in this case I'm not going to do a full tutorial on how to build a farm, but at least let's see how to build some of the main parts. So it is really easy to go to the previous video, seal the redstone, and I'm just going to explain you what changes I made. What doesn't change is the flying machine part, but what I did change is the collection part. So the new part is just this redstone clock connected to these 2 collection systems. The collection system circuit is this one, where we have this node block aside an opaque block, for example this target. Now this doesn't have to be glass, but I like to see what is under, so you can see here these hoppers. One hopper directly over to the dropper, and another 2 hoppers placed this way. This is the setup. You can see the dropper facing down towards the ice track. We have here a block, a comparator, redstone, another block, and here a sticky piston with 2 observers facing each way. This is going to be our clock. And another opaque block here. So when the dropper has items, it is going to dispense them immediately. Now you will see that in between this node block and the target block there is a hopper minecart, which is going to absorb all the items immediately. But it is actually in between the 2 blocks. This is in order for the 2 hoppers that are underneath, both at the same time absorb all the items from the minecart. So we can do this in the following way. As you can see here we have some materials. Just place here a rail, in front of it a glass pane, or anything that is a very small block. Here we place a minecart, we push it a little towards the glass pane, here. Now over this glass pane we place a node block, against it a target block. Now we can break this. We break the glass pane. Now we place here some pistons, and we power them, just to move these 2 blocks. And that is the way. The minecart is in between these 2 blocks, and under the minecart is where we place the 2 hoppers, and just build this arrangement over here. Now we just come underground, place these droppers facing down, and under them the ice track with the water blocks. Just remember to place this upper slab in order for the water just to flow in one direction. Water, slab, water, slab. And over here we just have these honey blocks or walls or any incomplete blocks that will align the items against the hoppers, and that way they will be absorbed. And here is where we have our main storage system. So now we're going to compare both systems. I have separated the materials I use in both cases, minecarts and allays. In this case, this is the minecarts as the previous video, as you can see over there. And this is the allays, which is the farmer I just showed you here. Let's open this chest, and these are the materials I used for the previous farm. As you can see here, the blocks are not hard to get, some redstone components, but probably the most expensive parts are going to be the redstone minecarts. On the other way, we see the system with allays. The materials are this. As you can see, apart from the 6 allays, if you can get them easily, the rest of the materials are not a lot, and they are quite cheap. So the redstone clock and the collecting systems are just these components you see here. Comparatively to the other system, you can see there's not a lot of items. They're quite easy to get, and if you can get at least 1 allay, it is quite easy to reproduce or duplicate. Now, having compared the materials needed, we're going to compare the times they took in order to collect all the items. So the first piece of data is that the minecart system can collect all the items in only 45 seconds, but the complete time is actually 2 minutes and 10 seconds. As you can see here, this is the size of the harvest, which is identical to the new farm. But the times are quite different. We can see all the time the Allays take to collect all these items is 1 minute and 15 seconds. But you can see all the time that passes until the Allays start to collect systems, and until all the item has turned up on the chest is not different. 2 minutes and 15 seconds compared to the 2 minutes and 10 seconds of the previous farm. Only 5 seconds. The main difference is the quantity of materials. So this is a pretty simple analysis between the two collection systems. As a final conclusion, the collection system based on Allays is a lot cheaper one. But it is actually going to depend if you have a surplus of redstone components or if it is easy in order to get the first Allay and start to duplicate it. Another conclusion is that collecting system based on minecarts is probably going to be more reliable, despite it being more expensive. This is mainly because the minecarts follow a predetermined track, and the Allays can escape or get stuck on some blocks or stuff like this. So the first aspect may be resolved, building a roof over all this farm, in order for the Allays not to escape. And of course, if we are used to industrialize all our farms, probably getting the materials in order to build a system based on minecarts is not going to be very hard. But the final choice and decision is yours. In this occasion, I just wanted to analyze what action these little friends can bring to us. This has been Big Brother 161, and remember, I will be watching.